Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is where you live. Eva here. I'm in my studio today and I am playing with some new watercolor paper that I got in the mail from the SAA Society for All Artists. It's a British watercolor society. And in their newsletter there was a little sheet of watercolor paper, Flamboyant. It's called, and it's 50% cotton, 50% cellulose. And when they roll it through the presses when it's wet, they have water dripping down on it. So it has like a lot of texture. I don't know if you can see that. It has a lot of texture. And it kind of, you can kind of imagine, it's kind of like a moon landscape. And so I did a little sketch of some tassels, dried tassels, teasels. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to pronounce it, but I already did a demo of a similar painting on some cellulose paper, so you can compare the two if you want to see how that went. But today it's 50% cotton, 50% cellulose paper, and I used my Micron 0.1 pen, archival ink, and I used a sepia to just do a very light sketch. And without further ado, let's test it out. I am going to just wet the whole thing. And this paper, one thing that the manufacturer writes is it is not suitable for using masking fluid. So right there, that's kind of a strike against it in my book, because I like to use masking fluid sometimes. So anyway, Cobalt blue, just going to run a little bit of that in, doing my best to avoid the tassels, the heads, you know, those, if I can. I mean, I'm not going to worry about the stems. And I'm going to take some, there we have it. And probably take some paper towel, Kleenex, and just blot it out of a couple of the ones where I got it in. There we are. And then I'm not even going to rinse out my brush. I'm going to go in, and I had some green gold from Daniel Smith here, the bottom of my palette. And I'm using my alternative palette today. Alright, so my paper has dried, my paint has dried I should say, and you can see the paper bubbles quite a bit. But I'm going to try not to let that bother me too much. I'm going to try and see if I can straighten it out a little bit. Sometimes if you just do a little bit like this, it'll help. There we go. I got my puddles ready. I'm using burnt sienna, French ultramarine blue. I'm going to mix them together, and I have a couple of little puddles here of those two colors just by themselves. And then I have new Gamboge yellow there. I'm sticking with the same colors that I used for my previous test on the 100% cellulose paper, and this is, as we talked about, it's 50-50. So let's see how that plays out. It has more texture for sure than the cheap paper from Tiger, or from Tier, however you want to say it. So I'm going to go in here with a little bit of that burnt sienna, and then I'm dipping into the blue here on the shadow side. I'm going to have my light come from the left side there, my left side, and we'll see how it goes. Go down the stem, since I have pigment enough. Got in a little bit of dark there. There's that. Dab in a little bit more dark right underneath there. And let's see if I can get that sepal. I'm gonna see. Didn't really want that dark up there. Pick that up, put a little bit of the yellow in, pushes the other colors. There. And I can do this little sepal, dried out sepal here. There. It doesn't seem to sink into the paper very quickly. So let's see here. Let's just drag out while we can some of these little thorns on the side. And I don't know what it takes to scraping in general. Let's scrape over there. And still too wet. And I'm gonna get some of these little thorny things going on here. Yeah, it definitely stays very much on the surface of the paper, seems like it. Okay, I'll let that dry. So it doesn't sink in, it doesn't seem right now, it doesn't sink in any faster than it did on the 100% cellulose paper. So let's carry on. And so I don't even know if this paper is available in the United States yet. Since I got this from the SAA, Society for All Artists, out of Great Britain. Great Britain, that might very well soon turn into Little England. I don't know what's happening over there. We'll see. Hopefully they sort it out. And then we can go down the stem. Just let the colors mix and mingle. Want it a little light there. Here it goes over the other stem. I like to have different colors as the stem goes down. I think that looks nicer. And let's get one of these sepals going. Try it out. And then down here, I'm going to rinse out my brush, and then I'm going to dab in a little bit of that yellow look that just takes over. And a little bit of the burnt sienna. And for here. That's a sepal that's, I'm trying to save. There. Yeah, I'm surprised how long it takes for it to soak in. I thought it would soak in faster than the 100% cellulose paper, and act a little bit more like cotton paper. It doesn't so far. And let's see how it scrapes. really tell yet. Okay, I think I want to dab in a little bit more of that new Gamboge, and this one I'm going to start putting in a little bit of new Gamboge first and see how that goes. And then dab in that mixture of French Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Dark on that side, rinse out my brush, get some of the burnt sienna in on this side. And can go down the stem, run all the way down there. Can get the sepals. And let's go in and paint this little guy here. A bit more of the blue in. Put a little bit of yellow in here. There. Got my finger in there. And then let's do a darker stem here behind. And then let's go in and see if we can get a little bit more of that texture in with the liner brush here. Get a little bit of that, those little thorny things, and the credit card. It's very hard, it feels to me, to find the right time where I can scrape out so that I actually get some highlights. I don't know, might be me of course, but it seems to be kind of difficult to find the right moment, if it's even possible. Let's try and lift out a little bit. Honestly, so far I was happier painting on the 100% cellulose paper, but we shall carry on and see if I change my mind as we move along. I'm gonna paint and speed up the camera so that you don't have to watch this for like half an hour, and then we'll reconvene when I'm almost done. Okay, so I finished the painting, and I can tell you I don't like it. The paper, I don't like it as much as painting on the 100% cellulose paper so far. It's I don't know, it just didn't seem to respond as well. I found it harder to do nice scrape outs of these little with my credit card. I don't feel that the colors mixed as well. It's kind of, yeah, I'm kind of surprised because I thought I would like it better, and I thought it would be more like painting on cotton paper, but I don't find that it is. Let's do a little lifting test and see how it lifts. So I'm going to zoom in, and then let's see how it goes there. Maybe I'll lift here where it goes across. And I'm using the same, you know, my usual scrubber brush. I guess it lifts. And then here, can you see it? Yes. Yes, it'll lift quite well. So that's the same, pretty much, as the 100% cellulose paper. So it will lift. So let's see if we can lift out a little bit here. Get a little distinction between these two heads. And here. Yeah, so lifting, it does. Same as cellulose paper, very easily. Then let's see if we can glaze. Let's see if we can glaze. Try to make this one a little darker behind there. Yeah, that seems to go just fine. And I kind of wanted to lift out a little bit of a highlight here. There. And the same on this little guy. Wasn't so happy with that. Okay. Okay. And this is kind of boring, so I'm gonna fix this. Let's see if we can lift out there. I have a little boo-boo or a thorn that didn't really turn out. Yeah, that went well. Alright, so as far as those properties, it does pretty much the same as the cellulose paper. And here was also, I think, one that I kind of wanted. A little lighter there, a little lighter here, there. And then here is also an area that's needs a little help. So I'm trying to lift that out. And then we can go in and let's see if we can darken it on this side so you can kind of see that stem better. Yeah, that went okay. And you can do it a little bit on the other side. There. And then I need to lift out the stem again, I guess. Here. There's a... Okay. And then I think I want to put a little bit of some highlights of that yellow in, because they kind of melted into the paper, seemed like it. Maybe I'm just not having as much fun with this one because I already painted it. That could very well be. I just didn't, to be honest with you. And who knows, could very well be yours truly, who's just already over it. And there was one more here. That was that one. Let's see if I can get that in. And then let's go in with that Pasha pen, since we did that with the other one, the other test I did. So here's my Pasha pen again. I should hold it like this way, I guess. Pasha pen, there. And it's gold. And I'm just gonna go in and do some little dotty dots where I wanted some highlights. And some of these here. And so I'm just dotting a little gold in here and there. And then doing some of these little tips. And then maybe I'll put that on that stem that I wasn't so happy with. I don't know if we can get this paper in the United States of America, and quite frankly, this experience didn't make me care too much. And then we can see these two pieces next to each other. And you know, same colors and everything. This is the cheap paper from Tiger or Tia watercolor paper. And then this is that new Flamboyant 50/50 Cellulose and cotton paper. You cannot use masking fluid on this, that's what the manufacturer says, so already there, I'm not crazy about that. And you can use masking fluid on the cheaper paper here. I mean, you've got to be a little bit more careful than if you're painting on, you know, workhorse like arches, but here you have it. And for my money, I'd rather go with this for what it's worth. But I thought it was fun to show you. And here you are. Here you can see Flamboyant watercolor paper, 50% cotton. And it says Flamboyant is an off-white watercolor paper made of 50% cotton and 50% fine quality wood-free cellulose. Its unique extra rough texture will render spectacular effects. The open, rough fibers and soft surface are unequaled. Flamboyant allows you to be your most creative, especially with wet-on-wet techniques. The paper will stay wet, allowing greater open work time, excellent control and gentle erasing. 140 pounds. So I also don't, can you see that the colors are more vibrant on this one because, you know, I don't think they sink in as much as they do on that Flamboyant paper. But anyway, here we have it. My vote goes to here. If you have a chance, test it out for yourself. And I wish you happy painting, and I'll see you soon in another video.